Hello and welcome to the next episode. Now, we ended the episode with reaching 10,000 population on Mars. And we are at 10,100 now after all the changes I did to stations. And yeah, I have set up a lot of new research centers, research campuses. I always mix that up. And in total, let me check my notes. I've made 25 new research campuses. So we do have a lot of new bases, or rather existing bases, building research centers. Research campuses. And also we have some operation centers and nanofactories still under construction, but basically 25 are coming up here. And I captured 2 bases and I rebuilt some of them. And I also removed some of the energy labs that we currently had because we don't need that much. We went down from 71% bonus to 55 now. That's okay, although 16% directly into energy is quite nice. But having a total higher output in the end is worth more because we do have the 130% here bonus from the skunk works, but also from the orcs and so on. So a raw output increase will be superior here and also push us better in the global tech and not that much in the project, or I mean because the global techs do not get the skunk work bonus. What we also will focus on now is going to be the improvement of science here in our European Eurasian Union. And so we're already in one federation here. And I actually thought about what we want to do here in the next basically month to come, because we do have quite a long time until we have our antimatter drives, and we still need to make a fleet which reconquers Mercury. We are going to construct that on Earth to use our boost as well as support, because we are going to run into volatile problems here quite heavily. However, what I want to do actually is to, after Particle Collider, actually we can just proceed there to get the Particle Collider done. There's the marine repair. I don't want to take more stations on Mars right now because of our MC cap. Because we do have only 237 of 282 currently. We do have 21 in modules under construction and 45 in shipyards. And further mining modules would increase that significantly. So we don't want that. Okay, there we go. The particle collider is done. It's not really something we are going to use right now, but that's fine. I also mixed up our wanted technologies here. So basically I put some into priority here or further up so that we can do them eventually. Like the rapid response team, it's extremely cheap, but it provides a -3 on terrorize for the aliens. Really nice. And we can check out the orc here. We don't need... we need this one as well, yeah. And also I put up some of the economy technologies here because economy will be relevant at some point again. However, we are now going to put Europe as Ascendant into our queue here. And actually we can finish that until January, and I do want to do this. The immediate effect from this will be that we can transfer Minsk and Yerevan here to the European Union. So they will probably increase in mission control cap, but we have to get rid of the alien life forms here, actually. So we should do that with an agent. Although we could also just use our armies here. I think that's fine for the moment, because we don't really have our guys to spare currently. And then we will take over Turkey here to be integrated into the European Union, for which we will use military force in the end, while we wait for folding the United Kingdom into the Union here, into the European Union. That will take time though. Did we get allied by now? Yeah, we did. Yeah. That's all good. So basically, that's something we want to do now, because first of all, we will get another 5 mission control here, but another 10 potential, plus the higher education here in the European Union probably will increase that by another 1 or 2. So we do have a lot of MC that we can construct afterwards again. It's going to be useful. And also from these provinces that we fold over, there will also be some. And afterwards we are going into Greater Europe, or however it's called, to eventually unify the European Union with the Eurasian Union. Eventually. Because, first of all, the Eurasian Union is maxed out on MC, and it's just mostly doing knowledge and funding here, basically, and a bit of economy. So there's not really that much potential in here. And the big benefit of the European Union is, of course, the 10 democracy that we could then apply to the states of the Eurasian Union. So that's a very useful jump in science afterwards, but also, like in general, a good idea. However, this might lead to a problem because our unity is relatively low here, or cohesion, actually. So it might happen that stuff will fold out of the Eurasian Union when we try to unify here. So we have to see if we can avoid this. I'm not sure, but we will see. And everything else is probably just going to proceed here. We don't really have much to do. We just have to survive. Aliens are, however, relatively weak. So the fleets that they are making and sending out are weaker than the last ones we already defeated. Like 5 ships here, 3 ships here flying to a parking orbit. So either they are constructing a huge amount of capital ships somewhere right now, where all the resources are going, or they are maybe doing the ships to invade Earth, which would be risky considering that we have a defense fleet. But something is getting cooked up, and I'm not sure what exactly. But it might also be that they just have resource shortages like we do, because they have been constructing a lot of ships, and we have been defeating a lot of ships over time here. So let's see what exactly will happen here. But in the end, right now there is not much we have to fight. So we can just speed ahead here. Within a year we will see our new research campuses. And actually there's really not much to do on Earth except trying to increase our holdings here. Which also means that I can really deliberately skip forward in this campaign. Because we can only defend Mars and Earth, and we need a better fleet. Or rather a better drive to then finally proceed our campaign into the belt, basically. We could consider to make a small fleet of Helicon drive ships to also do stuff in the belt. I'm not 100% sold on this, but I have to see how quickly we can progress in technology and how well our economic crisis of volatiles will change, basically. So if we go to Mercury, for example, there's apparently a protectorate base now. Oh, it's a station, not a base. Yeah, the volatile problem will only get stronger from Mercury. We saw that in the past already. But yeah, we want to get there. We also need to probably build a ship to invade some volatile asteroids in the belt anyway. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we want to do this. Because for the taking out of alien stations here in the belt, for example, let's take this one, which is the major shipyard of them. This would basically... yeah, one Citadel battle station to... yeah. That's a lot of stuff actually here, and they are still not completed yet. So they still have a lot of work to do. But they are really short on resources apparently. And... yeah, we don't have the fleet for this. We would need at least the siege coilers for this. However... yeah, we need this one. And... the diamondoids, of course. And I think coil guns are already unlocked, so we could go into coil guns afterwards as well. We definitely need the siege coilers to take out the battle stations. Unless we want to do something really weird with a lot of missiles and fast ships to evade the plasma things, but we don't have a drive for this. So we have to really think about a strategy here. And I do think that I want to just push forward to the anti-meta drives here and rather make a Helicon fleet which can take out Mercury again, or colonize Mercury again, which would be, let's say, 15 ships, about 15 ships, maybe 20, that we need to make eventually. But we can make them on Earth. We do have a lot of shipyards there. So maybe in 2033, we will do the fleet for Mercury, therefore arrive in late 33 at Mercury. Maybe. Depends on how many of the capital ships we want to make first. Yeah, but with that in mind, let's keep onward here and, yeah, basically proceed forward and push global techs, because that's our biggest bottleneck currently. And science output, so I will think about what we can do there. Okay, I want to use the chance to show the futile attempts of the aliens in taking out anything around Earth. Here is beautiful Earth Pacific and our massive fleet. I even left some ships at home, mostly the railguns, because they will not be of use here against some frigates and corvettes and gunships, because they are just too fast. And yeah, basically we do have some of our new modern ships here, basically, which are the Hestia classes and the 1E classes here, which now have the Hestia torpedo bay. So basically, what we are going to do here now is relatively simple. We just shoot at these ships here. Oh, this is an old one, but fine. We have the version 4s here. They are Lancers, Lancet still, but here is a new Hestia class. So basically, and then we have some ray guns here, 1, 2, and some of the laser ships, but most importantly our flagship here with the new cannon. And I don't know, I don't really need to use these ones, so I'm going to keep them in reserve for the moment. And we also don't need to do much here. So basically we are just going to float forward here and observe. Probably our flagship will be first to shoot, right? Yeah, 900 kilometers targeting range, so that's going to show stuff relatively soon. There we go. That was the infrared arc laser cannon, 17 damage, which of course went into the armor of the aliens. But it's fine. It's the first ship which has this. And here are our... I think that these are the new torpedoes, actually. So the Hestia, as we can see, are much faster, while the old ones here are extremely slow. And they can't retarget, as we can see here. And here are the new torpedoes going for the ships in the backline. And that's all our laser monitors here, taking this one out. And there we go. Yeah, but they have enough point defense here, actually. Oh, laggy here. Maybe I shouldn't scroll while doing this, so we shoot everything we got on these frigates here. Maybe I should have micromanage that a little bit better. So even if we lose ships now, it doesn't really matter. Okay, that went through. What's that? Whatever they went for. So we got damaged quite a bit, but it doesn't matter here. So because we are going to remove these laser monitors anyway, they have played their role in the past and they were really not effective. So I can't recommend making these ones. Better have some better point defense ships, basically. But we got officers from it, and a lot of them. And that's basically the purpose here. We want to farm as many officers as we can, and then we are going to slowly transfer them to our capital ships when they come online. And then they start with a benefit from already having some officers, basically. Yeah, and let's continue onward here. Okay, here we are already. We have finished the Europe Ascendant project like 1 day ago, and we immediately got the Great Europe project. So we're going to set that as a favorite, and we are going to immediately plug it in instead of battery farms here, where the other one was before. So Great Europe here, 50k. We're going to invest it a little bit slowly now, because we want to make sure we get the fall of empires here. I think we can again slow down here. Why are we going to do fall of empires here in between? Well, because we get the end of American Empire project from this, and end of China and end of India, which I'm contemplating to do. But at least the end of America project, because that will reduce the cohesion of the Americas here, which is already on fractured 1.1, and the rest value is 1.4, so really low. If all these new claims show up from all these nations below it, this might be something which we can exploit to bring it to an implosion point by also increasing our publicity here, because we are now here in Mexico. We just need to take one more point here, and then we can start working on the US. However, we have other projects as well. So for example, we have to get the last points here in the United Kingdom soon. First of all, we can do the Federation project here, of course. But we also have to now get into Turkey. But also we have to prepare other stuff here. So Egypt, for example, was a problem many times now due to the fact that Humanity First was trying to kick us out of it. But we can merge it in the next mission phase. Yeah. So we have to really make room for more mission phases here, which means we want to clean up Turkey and these things here, to then be able to focus everything we have on America, which will be a lot of work. But if you can kick the servants out of there and make coup etats or so on, that would be nice. However, we also struggled to take out an agent here, which has landed recently here. So this has priority as well, but it's super annoying because we already failed 2 times now with a 50% chance roughly. Super annoying, and it's costing us a lot of ops here. So we can only hope that he maybe walks into the Eurasian Union, because there we have this control point which gives us more bonus. I don't know, do we want to... Let's do runner 28 once here.
Where to?
And then we can protect him again. Yeah, so basically we are going to...
Standing by for orders.
Pushing forward here. Meanwhile, the first capital ships have arrived. So for example, here in our mass defense fleet, we have the first laser battleship next to the defense flagship. However, it's even nicer on Earth, where we already have, I think, 3 or 4 of these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laser battleships already with the defense flagship. So really good progress here. Of course, we are going to continue making more until we have at least 10 on each planet. And then we can start on our Mercury fleet. Well, we are here in January now of 2033. Everything is a little bit slower than I anticipated when I started the campaign again. So basically, as in every campaign, I'm not sure where the time flies to. Sometimes just like it disappears. However, we have made some significant progress by now. So first of all, we have done exactly as we talked about at the beginning of the episode. We have folded stuff from the Eurasian Union over into the European Union. Also from Britain, like Scotland has moved over. And now we are starting to work on Turkey to take it over, at least the executive here, so that we can invade afterwards. And then we are going to finish up England in the European Union in about, what is it? 14th of August, so 8 months from now, basically. And the European Union project here, Great Europe, is also finishing up at the end. Oh, next year. Yeah, okay, we have to push the science eventually, but not right now. We want to finish that global tech, that's why I made a stop here. But also something very important is going on now. With the finishing up of our capital ships, I have made new ship classes with our new drive that we unlocked some episodes ago. As we can see down here, we do now have a Mercury class and a Jupiter class, because we are going to Jupiter very soon. So we do have a flagship for each of those adventures, and we are just going to try it, because why wait for late game drive if we can just get to Jupiter already, and maybe we can have some fun there. And also I might consider doing some kind of asteroid class, but we could also reuse the Jupiter class to already go after some asteroid mining, or rather fighting the aliens somewhere. But we still need siege coilers to basically defeat a station. That's the main problem in the end. Yeah, basically these ships are relatively simple. So let's just have a look at the Hestia class here. So it's basically our torpedo base here with 2 magazines, a proper helican drive with enough fuel to get us to Mercury, and then we fly basically to it. The others are pretty similar, so it's just different modules on top of them. So the PDC class here, for example, has of course only point defenses as we already know it, and then a laser engine on top of it. While, for example, the flagships here, of course, are our cruisers, slightly modified with the other engine as to before. And also these bring point defenses with it. And yeah, and also there's a colonizer class now researched in between the fission platform kit so that we can make a station in the orbit of wherever we are going to. So basically, it's either Callisto or it's either Mercury, basically. And yeah, we are constructing these actually already, at least partially. So for example, if we look at Earth, we have the flagship for our Mercury adventure already on 163 days. And the Mercury class ships will queue up after our capital ships are finishing, basically. So they will be coming up relatively soonish. And afterwards, we are going to go back into some capital ships. I'm aiming currently, so what is building currently is roughly 10 per planet. But after we make the Mercury and Jupiter fleet is actually on construction on Mars. We are going to go back into capital ships and make a little bit more, up to 20 of these bad boys. Maybe 15 is actually already enough. And we need to see how the alien fleet develops. And also, in between, I have started to remove old ships, basically from the Mars fleet here. We reduced the sites here. We removed all the railgun ships, and we also removed all the laser monitors, but also the PDC class ships, because we are going to have more of these laser battle cruisers here in a moment. And the same is for the intercept fleet here on Earth. We, of course, have already quite some laser battle cruisers here. We can actually also start removing the railguns here. So let's actually do this. Oh, wait a second. There are some railgun classes under construction, if I see you correctly, right? Maybe we should just stop these rebuildings of the railguns here. Yeah, we should cancel this one. Can I do this? No. Okay, I have to do it like this. And then I have to queue up another Mercury Hestia class. Where are you? There you are. The others are the upgrades to the Hestia class for our existing corvettes. Yeah, so now we can remove the railguns actually, which we are going to do. Wait a second, we need to check the officers again of our railgun classes here. Even though I did that recently. Yeah, they are all level 1, so that's not really worth anything because we can't transfer level 1s. But I already transferred everyone we got in regards to level 2 a while ago, like 1 or 2 months ago. Not sure if I did it at the beginning of the episode or at the end of the episode, I'm not sure. So all the railguns will be removed now. And come on, these are the right ones here. Yep, railgun, all of them bye-bye. So that's quite some resources we get back, but most importantly we get quite a lot of mission control and money back. And we need the coil guns soonish to get then the siege coilers going. And then we can make proper ships. Even if we just slap the helican on top of it, then they would be super slow, but they still can take out a station if we really need to. So just to check what we are talking about. So let's go to the full tree here. And the siege coilers. Not even sure, do we need titans for this? Or do we need dreadnoughts for this? Siege coilers. Go for coil guns actually. So coil guns here. And then the coil cannon here will unlock the spinal siege coiler, exactly. And then we want to get to the advanced coil cannon eventually, for which we are already researching some stuff, at least for the advanced one. And the spinal siege coiler requires 4 nose hard points, basically. So that's a lot. And we want to get to tier 3 eventually, for which we need ultra capacitors. But we need that anyway for phased array lasers. So that's also something we are going to do anyway. But we need 4 nose hard points, which means that we probably need fleet combatants here. Because fleet combatants unlocks the... No, wait a second, that's the one we already got. It's ship of the line. That's the project we want. For which we need improved shipbuilding techniques though. Yeah, this one has the Lancer. The Lancer has the hard points. No, wait a second, we need nose points. Hard points. 4 nose. Oh, right. Lancer is correct. I was misreading this. So it has 4 nose points and 3 hull points. So we want Lancers to put then the siege coilers on top of it. Of course, the Titans would even be better. Because the Titans, of course, have 4 nose and 6 hull. But the Titans are another... They would need Titanic spacecraft, which... So Titans are 10,000 and Titanic spacecraft is 60,000. With fleet logistics, which we need... Do we need fleet logistics? Maybe. Yeah, we need the command center. Yeah. Also, we want the fleet officer schoolhouses for the improved triggering of officer chances here. And the independent commands. So yeah, we are going to do fleet logistics eventually, but not right now. So basically, we want to get to... Yeah, to the Lancer. Ship of the Lines. What do we need? Improved shipbuilding techniques, for which we need next generation aerospace. Okay, so the big question here now is, do we want to go in that direction because we queued up coil guns here, if I recall correctly, or did we put something else in between? No, we queued up coil guns here, and now we want to finish the other global tech here, where we also get a pick. There we are.
That there are other souls out there.
However, this unlocks the ring habs now. This is a hard choice. 35,000. This would only be 5,000 though. And we could get to the improved shipbuilding techniques quickly. There's no other pick anywhere soon though. But we want... This one will go into magnetic plasma confinement to get to the antimatter production. For the antimatter production, we also need the ring habs. However, now the ring habs would also be nice on Earth to have more stuff there in our shipyards and so on. And also we could make a ring hab on Jupiter if we get our foot into the door there. And then we can already prepare a shipyard there. We don't need tier 3 shipyards to have proper build times. We don't need colony habs anytime soon. We can survive without the whole campaign if we want to. But we need the ring habs for antimatter production and also for proper shipyards. But without the Lancers, which we could build on Earth, we don't have something to kill the alien stations with. So I do think we want to get the Lancers, while coil guns are getting researched anyway here. So next generation aerospace, improved shipbuilding techniques, and then ship of the line or whatever it's called. And then we go into ring habs here. But we are going to push this global tech here pretty hard in this direction now. We have the science, and we are still waiting for our new research campuses. Yes, I did it right. Research campuses. We don't need this one. Actually, we have the End of America project unlocked. If you're surprised by our progress on Ferrocite Mastery is so low, the resistance of all has actually sabotaged us there. Yeah, let's do this one actually. So we are going to push this one as well to get it unlocked within a month. Because that would be helpful as well, because hopefully it will do what we want to on America.
We are winning their hearts and minds.
Yeah, and meanwhile we are going to try to break into Turkey here. Okay, I want to showcase something. I want to show our new designs in action. We have a corvette and a destroyer currently on Earth surveillance. And we have decided to pick our flagship and 3 of the laser battle cruisers and 3 of our Heshia class escorts to engage them. And this is just to showcase how outgunned the aliens are by now. So whatever they have, that won't be helping any in... What? Where is my fleet? Why can't I see my ships? What's that kind? Ah, there. Weird bug. Okay, we do have... No, the formation is fine. We do have a lot of point defense coverage here from our laser battle cruisers now. And the only thing we need to send out is basically 1 for the corvette and 2 for the... Wait a second, did I just... Ah, yeah. I again made a mistake here. So, of course, only the... like this. And we are going to be most likely be the first ones to engage here. Actually, they are even split up. That's even worse for them. So our missiles here start first. And they are, of course, extremely fast. And they have a lot of KPS, so they can retarget. Bye-bye. Awesome. Up to the next ship. If you noticed, our lasers actually also start shooting before they can start to shoot, because we have massive ranges by now. So these arc laser, 950 kilometers. That's almost a maximum of 1000. And now, again, the missiles start first here. Accelerate like crazy. And we are shooting with our lasers on top of it as well. And bye-bye. This is heavily armored. Whew. That's a lot of damage, but that's it. Bye-bye. So we took minimal damage from some laser shots here on our escort, because these ones are, of course, still basically not armored at all. But yeah, fine. And this way we can now farm basically our officers here. I should stop saying basically. I am saying that way too much. And we see here we have 2 new officers, an ensign and a captain, which is reducing our mission control again. Nice. Of course, we are going to send it back, refuel and so on. Meanwhile, a part of our research campuses has finished. Or even all of them. Yeah, actually all of them have finished, and we are up to 8.6k science now. It's only about 1.5... we were at 6.7, so almost 2000 additional science here. Decent. This is of course impacting everything we do currently. We are pushing through the Great Europe. I'm not 100% sure if I actually want to do it like this right now. Do we maybe want to push these ones here? This would be July, August, and August as well. Yeah, let's do these 3 global techs here. Afterwards, we have the project for the Lancer. Where are you? Oh, we also have rapid shipbuilding. That's also useful. Ships of the line here. That's all useful. So let's push these global techs actually, and then afterwards we do Great Europe. I think that's a good call here. Use as much science as we can. Meanwhile, we go for the Turkey control points here. We already got the first one. We're going to spoil it a bit. And then onwards into Europe with that thing. And also this year, of course, we see England. Okay. Let's jump forward once more, because we have time to skip, basically. Well, we are now in July 2033, so we jumped quite a bit in this episode. Our mission control is once again a problem, now that all our capital ships are arriving and our Mercury and Jupiter fleet is complete. So, just some days ago, the capital ships, the flagship capital ships, basically have finished for these fleets, for Mercury and Jupiter, and we want to send them out now. Also, what is to be noted is that we now integrated Turkey here, and that boosted our science quite significantly from the additional population. And of course, in the next month, we are also going to integrate England here. And then we still need to make a decision about how we handle Ireland here. We also want to integrate it. It's another 5 million, but it's not that important currently. Not to waste ops on that. More importantly is we do slowly break into the Americas here. So we do have now 21 publicity here. However, we have a little bit of a xeno-megafauna problem here in Mexico, which we need to take care of. So that's why we are moving armies over. We only have 2 navies. Contemplating if we maybe want to build a 3rd one now. So maybe push this one. Actually, we can wait, because if we integrate England, we might get some naval points which finish this one up. So that's going to be in a month, so we can wait until then. And yeah, so now to the fleets. So let's start on Earth here. We want to move all our Mercury ships out there. So that's the flagship, and then we have to get our Hestia classes for Mercury here. And our PTC ships here. And the 2 Marines in case there is someone settling while we are flying there. Plus the colonizer ship. Here we go. So split them up. And this one is going to be the Mercury Reclaimers. Let's see, everything is alright. We have the right KPS, and let's go. I'm not sure if the time window is fortunate currently, but who knows, really. But at least we could take these ones out as soon as we have a base. We are going, of course, into a low Mercury orbit here. But it's actually okay. Plus 18% only. Going down 12 weeks. Well, that's less than when we designed the ship there. It was like 18 or 16. We could waste a little bit less fuel here. Actually, we could 19 weeks, 12 weeks. Let's go to like 15 like this. We do have the resources for this, so it's fine. 15 weeks until we arrive. So basically next year. No, that's the transfer. No, 15 weeks is of course a lot less than next year. Like 4 months away. And now the same for our mass defense fleet here. Actually, we need to resupply first. There we go. And then we move our Mercury fleets here out as well. Jupiter flagship, not Mercury fleets, Jupiter fleets. So we have the Jupiter Hestia class here. It's basically the same, just more KPS. Oh, I made a misspelling here. Jupiter. And the colonizer here. Did we only build one PDC class here? Maybe. That's all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ships. Yeah, 10 ships. And therefore we can also... The Jupiter fleet. This is more like a test balloon if we actually will arrive there. We don't need Marines on this fleet because there's nobody around Jupiter, most likely. We are going to go to Callista, of course. And then Callista low orbit. How many fleets are there? That's marginal. We can do this. Or do we maybe want to go to something with fissiles, actually? Not fissiles, volatiles here. So let's check Alara. Why do we not have a probe there yet? Oh, 21 of the 1st of August. Okay, so it's almost arriving. And these ones here. I don't think that's worth it. Io would be, of course, really nice. We don't need water. Actually, we could fly to Io instead. Of course, Io is super expensive. 4 times because of the radiation. But we would get huge amounts of everything. We see that in August as well. But I don't want to wait another month here. So the other thing would be to go to... What's Callista's stats, actually? Callista is decent. Yeah, let's go to Callista. Callista is a meter here. That's the best one you can get. Ganymede is also really nice. But let's go to Callista, and from there we can continue. So, 19 weeks. Let's burn a little bit less fuel. Yeah, this is fine. So we arrive in December this year. Awesome. Let's go. Jupiter fleet on its way. Meanwhile, we have lost our moon base, actually. Aha. Actually, yeah, the mission phase is almost over. So we can wait for this. Really? Monitor 2 frigates and an escort. They don't like it that we fly there. That should be fine though. We should be able to take this out. But I was expecting something in this regard. Funny though. Really funny. Yeah. Overall it's going really nicely, and I do expect that we are going to push above 10,000 science here in the next episode. With the finishing research campuses here on Mars. We replaced the moon base with a base on Mars. We took one from Exodus, but we can't afford more. There are 2 bases left from Exodus, but we don't have the MC to take it, because as we can see here, the HEP mines already cost us 12 to manage. That's a lot. And so that's opening up the question if we maybe want to do Saturn or outer planets. I'm not sure which one is the next one. To push our mining limit further up, because we also fly towards Mercury, for which we also need capacity. I, however, have started up antimatter mass production. So that's good. That's going to be finishing up not in 2036, but earlier. Because we are going to invest more into it as soon as we can. But we also get the next 2 technologies here. So actually we could consider right now to just finish them up here in this mission phase which is coming. So let's do this actually.
Acknowledged.
Have to be a bit careful here currently because of aliens going after us. They really don't like us currently. Or rather the servants and so on. I wonder why. So, okay, yeah, you go to ground because servants discovered you again.
What's the op?
Standing by for orders.
Ready.
So Shika is instead going for the advice
Lending my
here.
Expertise.
Acknowledged.
You
Standing
also
by.
got discovered.
Ready.
Really.
Acknowledged.
Ren Sheng can go back to publicity campaigns here.
We'll make our appeal.
And then let's get started in this mission phase and finish up the global techs here. 22nd of July, half a mission phase in.
Offering counsel.
Initiating deep cover.
Going off the grid.
Of course, also because we took over Turkey, we got a lot more mission control capacity. So these are the only regions which are lacking, like for example Istanbul here. There is one thing that we have a problem with. I think it's the Diyarbakir here, because it's a colony. So that would not get as much. Here it is. We might want to release a new nation here to build it up properly without the colony region status, but I'm not sure if it's worth it currently. But we might want to. Same for the Caribbean states eventually, but these are definitely not worth it. So probably we could do this here. But not right now.
Sir Francis
There we
Drake
go.
defeat the Spanish Armada.
Improved shipbuilding is done. And now the question, mission to Saturn here. Yeah, we need the mission control. And then high temperature superconductors here. There we go. That's going to be a famous favorite. Of course, we have also a money
Things
problem.
Clear your mind and
Okay. Phased array lasers? Or diamondoids? Or ringhaps? I think the point defense that we currently field is okay. The lasers could be better. But we got the siege coilers to go after the Jupiter mines if we want to. Which means we want to actually get ringhaps to go into antimatter. So that's going to be our focus here. Big question is now, Great Europe first? Parasites first? I'm not sure. I'm going to consider this between the episodes. So in the next one, I have made a decision. See you then. Leave a like and subscribe.